Hi guys, Brian here from BE Listed, and this is your Irvine property market update for February 2026, covering activity from January across the KA11 and KA12 postcode areas. January is always an interesting month. It's the first real look at how the market resets after the Christmas and New Year break. It gives us a good early indicator of buyer and seller behaviour heading into the spring market. So let's have a look at what is actually happening with the sales market across Irvine. Available stock in January sat at around mid-70s in both KA11 and KA12, leaving us with a total of 147 units available across Irvine. That's slightly higher than this time last year, but still relatively tight in real terms, especially once we strip out the new build developer stock, which is just over 40 units according to Rightmove. New instructions were steady rather than explosive. KA11 saw just over 20 new listings, while KA12 was closer to 12 at a dozen. That tells us that sellers are returning to the market, but in a controlled way, not a flood. Sales agreed were encouraging. Both areas saw sales agreed in either matching or exceeding the number of new instructions, which is a really important indicator. It shows that buyer demand is keeping pace with supply rather than stock building up. Days on the market are sitting in the mid to high 70s range, which is broadly in line with where we were towards the end of 2025. Buyers are taking their time. Affordability still matters, but decisively priced homes are continuing to sell quickly. What I'm seeing on the ground is very clear. Well-presented homes are attracting good interest. Correct pricing is absolutely critical, and buyers are ready to act when value makes sense. One really important point this month is the impact of new developers. A noticeable proportion of available stock is developer-led, but those homes are not always translating into completed sales at the same pace as the second-hand market. By contrast, the second-hand market, especially family homes in established areas, is performing far more consistently. That's an important distinction for sellers when thinking about competition and pricing strategy. Moving over to rentals. On the rental side, demand remains very strong across Irvine. Good quality 2 and 3 bed homes are letting very quickly, often or usually with multiple applicants. Supply is still very tight and rental value remains very supported. For landlords, this continues to be a solid market, but it's more important than ever to get your compliance, presentation and pricing right. The days of any condition, any price are behind us, but strong yields are still very, very achievable in the Irvine market. So what does this mean heading into spring 2026? For sellers, the market is active, but strategy matters. Pricing and presentation will decide the final outcomes. For buyers, choice is improving, but good homes in good areas are still highly competitive. For landlords and investors, demand isn't going away. Professional management and planning are key. Overall, Irvine is entering 2026 in a balanced, stable position with genuine opportunities on both sides of the market. If you're thinking about selling or letting, or just want a clear picture of where your property sits in today's market, we'd be delighted to help. If you'd like a free, no obligation valuation or a chat about your options, just get in touch. Message me the word value to start the conversation, or call me on the number listed in the description. I'm Brian from Be Listed. Really appreciate your time in watching the video. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next update.